All right, welcome back to the Nice Fast channel, guys. It is time for a review and some thoughts on the Remette Peregrine Falcon. RT-Peregrine Falcon. I cannot talk, but there you go. Read that. RT. Oh, come on, focus. RT. There we go. RT-Peregrine Falcon sent to me through the Lefty Pass Around group. And very, very cool. Now, this is the Nice Fast channel. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and stick around because we're going to go into some depth on this one and do some cool comparisons. So let's do it. All right, let's move some stuff out of the way here and look at this beautiful knife. Now, guys, you know, when Remet started out, they were doing a lot of budget knives. And the first few knives I saw from them were all budget knives. They have jumped right into the premium line. And you know, guys, you know I just absolutely love the RT Swordfish. This thing, they sent me this. This thing is such a great gravity knife. Really, really cool. Just love the milling and the way it's done. And this beautiful blade. And now they've jumped in with this Peregrine Falcon. Now, what's so cool about this guy is it looks like its namesake. If you look up a picture of a diving Peregrine Falcon, that is exactly what this looks like. That is so cool. And for a guy like me that loves flight, it has that kind of really sleek airplane. By the way, if you look at a picture of a Peregrine Falcon and a B-2 stealth bomber, both diving down, they look very similar as well. Just a little note for you there. And I love Falcons. But this guy is really, really cool. Now, what you have here is flat titanium scales with this kind of brownish finish. And then you've got this titanium piece around the pivot collar that actually looks like falcon feathers here, and it's milled in, but it's got this bronze look. You also have a bronze backspacer, bronze clip. A lot of cool touches on this one. You still stuck with some silver hardware to match the blade, which I think is really cool. And then you've got a notch here and a notch here where you can put some tritium. Now, our buddy Lefty EDC put some tritium. I can't get it dark in here enough for you guys to see that. Maybe just barely right there, but not really. Really cool. Now, what is so awesome about this knife is that we have a liner lock. And you're like, well, there's lots of liner locks. Now, you have good access to that lock bar. You have a chamfer, and that works real well. But what takes this up a notch is it is a pivot button activated liner lock. That is cool. Now, there is no liner on this side. We have good milling for weight reduction. And on this side, we have a partial liner that is the lock and is locked up at like, I don't know, like 20%. And then we can move it with this button. The button fits around the pivot, and you can actuate that with that. You also have a front flipper here. My only issue with that front flipper is I wish that jimping was a little more aggressive. You can do it, but it would be way better with a little more close together jimping. But not bad. I mean, look at that. I mean, even Mr. I Can't Front Flip can do this pretty easily. See, but every once in a while I slip off. Now, the best way to manipulate this knife, to deploy it, is the fuller, and you can thumb open it or middle finger open it using that hole/fuller. You don't have incredible access to the hole itself, but because you have a fuller there, it makes it really easy. The other thing about that fuller, as you can see, I've been doing a bunch of cutting with this. As you can see, what happens here is we have a high flat grind here, so not full. But because we have this fuller that creates this really thin section, when this guy passes through material, it just glides. So as you can see, it just cuts so stinking well. I mean, it is, look at that, because you have blade relief back here, and this doesn't really bother it, and you just go right through that material, no problem whatsoever at all. So you do have a very nice sharpening tool, which does go quite past the plunge here. So really nice. The finish is kind of bead blasted here. I like that a lot. You can see it is on cage ceramic ball bearings. It is incredibly smooth. Incredibly. And the detent is very nice. It is not shaken out, and you have a very good reaction to that detent. It is not a reversible clip. There is a lanyard hole in the back spacer. Nice clip, good in and out of the pocket. No issues there. Now let's talk about the blade steel. This is M390. And guys, I want to talk about two things in regard to this knife. And the first one is heat treatment, okay? So there was some allegation from a channel, and no, I'm not going to give the name of the channel. And the same guy, here, I'll give you a hint. It's the guy that's got this crazy machine where he drops like an 8-pound or whatever it is, 6-pound block of steel on a knife blade. So he's got it in a vise like this, and he drops this hunk of steel on the blade, and just gets all excited if a lock fails. So he did that on this knife, and then he also did a hardness test on this, and he came up like 57. And Remet is saying, I think, let me find my phone here. I believe Remet is saying that this guy is oh, come on, is it on here? Anyway, they did a post on it, and they're saying it's 59 to 61. Now, I know that there's been a couple of tests done on this one. I think Lee from Love Them Knives had one done, and it passed with flying colors. No problem whatsoever. And guys, I don't know what that guy's talking about, because he's using a tester. Rochambeau did a video on this that our friend Laren Thomas is basically saying is made for bulk steel and not really thin steel like a knife blade. It's a cheap tester, like $250, and isn't accurate on this kind of thing. And so Remet is putting the wheels in motion to get some more testing done on these. They are wide open and ready to show. They're going to send more knives. And so Lefty EDC has been working with Brian over at Transparent Knives, and I'm sending this to Brian right after we're done here, and Brian is going to do a test. So be looking at Transparent Knives for a full-on test of this particular knife, this exact knife I'm holding right here. So, we'll see. We'll see what it comes up. But for me, I've done quite a bit of cutting with it. I just kept going. I'll keep doing it. I just kept going and going yesterday. I did a video showing the pile of cardboard. I just kept going and going and going. And it never, to me, has gotten any less sharp than it was. So that's how I test sharpness. I don't have a sharpness tester. I would love to have one at some point. They are very expensive and huge, but you can see this guy just cuts. It's not a problem. It just cuts and cuts and cuts, and that edge still feels sticky sharp. I'll be interested to see what Brian's test showed. Now the other test. Now I am so reluctant to do what I'm about to do, but I'm going to do it anyway. But I usually do this on a piece of paper just simply because I don't want to beat the crap out of the knife. But the other test, come on, guys. You're not going to do anything more to that lock than what I just did. And that lock did not fail. There is no issues. There's no blade play. There's no lock rock whatsoever on this knife. It is just fantastic. So, and then Rochambeau, kind of asked the guy some more questions right out in the open on his video, and the guy came back with, well, this channel's just for entertainment. Okay, so my issue with that is, if it's just for entertainment, then don't be given what you consider scientific tests and showing them on your channel if it's just for entertainment, because you're drawing conclusions that can affect a company. So what I like, And what I'm going to tell you is Remet is sending some of their knives over, and we're going to get those independently. Well, I'm not really a part of it, but Lefty is working with Brian over at Transparent Knives, and they're going to test this knife and some others that are coming just to see. Remet is wide open. They published their own tests. They did a control test and then 2 more tests, and they published that on their Instagram, and it definitely shows 62, I think, and one of them was 61, but 61, 62 on M390, which is just fine. So now, ergonomically, guys, I spent way too much time on that, but that's okay. You have a great grip on this knife, guys. I'm telling you, go right around that clip. It is a little thick because of these 2 pieces right here in this portion right here, but it feels absolutely fine to me. And when I grip it, I'm not gripping it on the button, which is great. My thumb is hitting right here on this little poon area, which feels excellent. I mean, this feels like a really nice knife to me. I like it. And again, I like that I can actuate it as a liner lock, or I can actuate it as a button lock. And I love where the button is, allows me to fidget so much more. And guys, by the way, it is dead centered and it comes all the way out to the end. I mean, this is just a very smart, detailed design. I like it a lot. Now let's put our friend, by the way, this is a longer video. I'm doing too many of these lately. I got to speed up. But I wanted to say a few things about the situation. See, it's roughly, let's do this straight on, roughly the same length as the Swordfish. And it is a little shorter, both handle and blade, than the Ontario Rat 1. And it's going to be a little bigger than the Ontario Rat 2. So there are your awesome comparisons. There is a giant pile of cardboard that sucker just mowed through. So yeah, my opinion of this knife is pretty high. Now let's go through real quick. I know I'm long, but let's go through. This guy is 7.8 inches overall with the 3.15 inch blade. Again, it is a Tanto, so it does have that secondary tip. Close length 4.4, blade thickness 0.14 or 3.5 millimeters, which is great because, again, we taper towards the tip and we have this relief cut, so it cuts just excellently. It's not super thin, but it cuts super thin. Let's see, handle thickness, it says 0.71, guys, but I don't, I don't think that's correct. Let's just do the independent test here of this very not useful method, but that's fine. So if you're going from, if you're going from the button all the way to the other side, we're at like, let's see, almost 3/4 of an inch. If you go from this piece here to the other piece, you're more like just under 5/8. You're like 9/16 of an inch. So it is thicker right there, but if you come back here to this portion, it is right under 1/2 inch, like 0.49. So it's just this section right here that is that thick. Now, there are very few of these left. Oh, by the way, they got 59 to 61. It is listed here. Knife weight, 4.8 ounces. Now, very few of these left. I am waiting for Remet to send me a discount code, but I couldn't wait to get this video done and the knife out to Brian. So look in the description and you can see a code in the description for 5% off this knife. So I will leave that in the description as soon as they send it to me. And I don't have that at the time of this recording. But there are only a few of these left in 3 different versions, and they are running $245. So, again, very nice knife. You can go check out, there's a gray version with blue, and then there's a flame anode version like this. And so check those out very, very much. And again, I'm sorry this is long, but I wanted to address those concerns. So guys, let me know what you think down below. Give me a thumbs up and a comment. and subscribe and hit that notification bell. And thanks to Remet. And guys, again, this is on the way out to Brian over at Transparent Knives. And don't forget to check the description for a discount code. Thank you for watching the Knives Fast channel.